Hello and welcome to my channel. My name's Michelle and I am a beauty treasure hunter. In today's episode, I'm going to share with you some beauty finds this week and also test out the new Haus Labs foundation. Well, it's not new. It's been around for a while, but it's new to me. I had to save up some points to get this. So please hang around and see how I got this look. All right, I've already done my Biore Watery Essence, and I want to point out that I always try to get the Korean kind. Or maybe, no, it's not Korean. This one's Japanese. That's right. Um, I have tried the one that's formulated to be sold in America, and it is slightly different. It's a little white and creamy as opposed to kind of more clear and watery. So, and I think if you get it through like Yes Style or Stylevana, you'll make sure and get the Japanese kind. I also have put on some CeraVe, not sure how to say that, tinted mineral sunscreen. This was in the deep shade to kind of act as a bronzer. And I have also put on some primer that I found at Ross by Ola Henriksen, and I really like her products. This is the Banana Bright Face Primer. So I already have those things on. Now the next experiment I've been doing is on the new Peter Thomas Roth Instant Firm Eye Temporary Eye Tightener. Been using it under my eyes. This is supposed to be a little bit less dry and cakey, and you can actually put makeup on top of it. The other one, it was more dry and ended up kind of chalky under the eyes or wherever you put it. Now, yesterday, I just wanted to see if it could lift this eyelid a little bit more. And so I only put it on this eye, and what I noticed several times during the day, anytime I looked in the mirror, was that this eye was so smooth compared to this eye. So you can see how crepey that lid is there. So I'm going to do it to both sides today. I did try it, and I noticed that some people have been putting it just on other areas with wrinkles. I did it in my marionette lines yesterday, and I found it kind of irritating there, kind of itchy, so I did it right in here. I'm not going to do that today. I will do a little bit on my upper lip. And I did not do it on my 11s yesterday, so I'm going to try that. And I'm not doing a thick layer anywhere, just a very thin layer. And this one comes with a brush, but I prefer the fingertips still. I'm going to let it dry a little bit. You're supposed to remain expressionless. All right, and we'll move on. See how that goes. I'm gonna try actually a concealer that I've used before for my eyelids. Pico Lovers. I'm not sure if that's how you say that, but I have mine in shade 4. I think I got this through Temu. And this one, it's nice and creamy. You can kind of see the consistency there. And yes, I am putting that right over my Peter Thomas Roth Instant Eye Firm. And if you've never watched my channel before, I try to explain I have horrible fingernails and I play the violin. So if I put on fake ones, it just gets in my way. Okay, I'm also going to put a little bit of concealer just right underneath, not as an under eye concealer, but to help my shadow grip. Okay, while that kind of sets down, I think I'll do some brows. I'm going to use my new Florence by Mills brow pencil to just fill in. I've got a little bit of a gap going on right here right now. Just like your lashes go through a growth phase, your brows do as well. That's why brow serums and lash serums are kind of interchangeable. They work in both places. And I did tint my brows this week, so I don't have any grays to get covered, which is nice. I got this pencil in a kit that had 4 items total, and it was only $7.99 at a Haus. Okay, but I also need these babies to lay down. And usually my very favorite is my Ardell brow glue, but I've been enjoying a little Maybelline Superstick clear. It's not as sticky or stiff as the Ardell, but sometimes I just feel like being a little bit lighter and softer. And I found at a Ross this week a Laura Geller Garden Party in Full Bloom eyeshadow palette. So I'm going to start off with a light matte. I've got some new Travel It brushes, It Cosmetics. I'm going to try one of those. Probably this taupe right here. I think this whole palette was like $6.99. And I usually like the Laura Geller shadows. Okay, now I'm going to go a little bit darker. There we go. Right here. The outer corners. Okay, this brush is a little too bendy for that right there, but I like to get a stiffer one so I can do my circles out here. And try to blend that out a little bit with another travel brush. Yeah, that's better. I love shadow switchers to clean between colors, or I clean them right after I use them. Now lately, I've been noticing if I leave, but that looks decent today. I think it's because of the Peter Thomas Roth. My eyes are kind of looking evenly hooded today. That's okay. So, I can try something else. I love skinny pencil brushes to go underneath with. And all of my darks in this palette are matte. So I'm using this one right here. I'm going to try one of the sparkles. Probably this one right here. And I'm just going to kind of pat with my finger. And then pat and see how it goes. That application method. Oh, I like that sparkle. Very subtle. And it is a topper, so I can just like make the entire lid sparkle without affecting the color. Sometimes I like to take the leftovers and put them in the inner corner. Okay, now I do have a little bit of fallout, so I'm going to clean that up. And I'm going to clean up the edges as well. I'm trying to relax right there. Trying not to go like this. Although, that part of my eye's not moving a whole lot today. It's incredible. I'm really liking this new formula of the Peter Thomas Roth Instant Eye Fix. The hard part about doing your edges sharp like that is making sure you have equal lift on both sides, like this same angle. I took the plunge and got the Haus Labs foundation in shade 200 light medium. I think that's light medium neutral. I think I'll do under eye concealer first, and I'm gonna go with my Revolution IRL in C4. I'm always afraid they're gonna stop making this because it's fantastic. And I will use my actual Angie Hot and Flashy, set it in a 506. Mine's the travel size, which means it has a shorter handle, which I don't mind at all. And remember, this is going over the Peter Thomas Roth. And before I did the Peter Thomas Roth stuff, I had really moisturized my under eyes. So far, so good. I got a sample in my Sephora order of the Charlotte Tilbury Exaggerize mascara, and I really like it. And I think anytime you can get a mascara a mini size or travel size, it's awesome. Okay, on to the Haus Labs. Again, shade 200. I was hoping it would be a little bit more pinky than this, and this is not my first time using it. I wore it earlier this week, and I'm thinking that maybe the powder that I used made it be drier than what it normally is, so be careful how I set it. And remember, I do have the Peter Thomas Roth on my upper lip. Also, I waxed the inside of my nose today. Some of you may think that is just nuts, but if you are plucking them out one by one, you know, pulling a hair from the inside of your nose is pretty painful. And what I have figured out is I'd rather get it all over with all at once. And I have found that the hot wax on the inside of your nose feels really good. It's kind of comforting. And you let it cool a little bit, and then you just pull really hard, and it's very satisfying to see all those little pokey hairs that people couldn't see if you turned to the side, you know? And here's something else. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think it's over half of folks are colonized inside your nose with a type of staph, and it just stays there dormant. Sometimes it can cause problems. That's why if you ever have surgery, they will ask you to do that mupirocin antibacterial ointment inside your nose like the week before your surgery. Anyway, I started getting tiny little breakouts near the entrance of my nose years ago when an ENT suggested that I do the nasal rinse. All I can figure out is that maybe my bottle didn't get dried out and got that in the air somehow, and then I introduced it to myself. So, long story short, since I have started waxing my nose, I don't break out in there anymore. Isn't that crazy? I don't know. But if you've never tried hot wax inside your nose, I highly recommend it. Okay, this feels really good. Looking up close, the pores look pretty good. I always have to stretch and pull and pat in. Pores are the new wrinkles. And I've noticed my driver's side has more damage, sun damage, than the other side of my face. And more pores, more stretching. One spot over here that I have had frozen off before, and it just comes right back, and it's not a skin cancer. I've had a little bit of breaking out down here. Probably need to change my pillowcase more often. Today, for my contour, I'm going to use the Wet n Wild dual-ended Mega Glow contour stick. This one is in the light medium. Let's see, one end is just like if you know, a concealer stick, or if you wanted to use that to highlight with, and the other side looks like this. And I do like this color. This is a lighter shade than what I normally use, but we'll see how it goes. I may end up feeling like I'm not snatched enough. I'm also going to use, been stuck on my new Catrice cream bronzer in the shade Desert Dune. Looks like this, and it's so soft. Gosh. And I like to use a brush it's kind of like the other one I use for contouring. It does have a flat end, but it also has an end that looks like this, and it's kind of rounded, so it's really good for bronzing, I think, because you can kind of get your whole cheekbone just in one fell swoop there. I have figured out that I like to get my brows done early, because if I save them for later, I end up having to wipe, and then I wipe some of my bronzer off there. That's what I noticed all day yesterday. I like using a lot of bronzer because I don't self-tan anymore. I do use body makeup though. Right when I get out of the shower, the bath, and dry off and lotion up, I use body makeup. And especially on my legs, if I can go for a few days without shaving, it stays pretty good. And I am going to top that off with some RMS bronzer in Beach Walk Betty. I had been wanting this and got it recently on sale during the Ulta 21 Days of Beauty. It's normally like $36 and I got it for $18. And I've been looking for a new powder bronzer because my favorite, the Flower Beauty one, is not being made anymore. And sometimes even if something's not being made anymore, you can still find it, but it's gotten to the point where I can't even find it anywhere anymore. Right, I'm gonna do some, let's see, some Laura Geller blush, and this one is in a little sponge. It's called Graceful Guava, and you would look at it and think, ooh, that's gonna be orange, but then when I dab it, that's what it looks like, and I love this color. I can use my dense brush. I like to hide my veins right here. That's something that I didn't notice until my 50s. And I'm starting to notice my neck. I'll be 55 in a couple of weeks. And my neck has not bothered me until now. Okay, now I'm gonna top that off with powder blush. Gonna do some Rimmel Maxi Blush in the shade 003 Wild Card. And I do just want to maintain this color, and this is pretty close. So pretty much that's what I use my powder blushes for, just to set my cream or liquid blush. Okay, I'm gonna try some NARS highlighter, and this is in Copacabana. I like to use a nice dense smaller brush for that. I like that. I like subtle highlight. But if I forget highlight now, I feel like, oh, I'm not complete. Okay, now let's do some lips. I found this Simply Ageless Lip Flip Liner by CoverGirl in the shade, let's see if it says it on here. Yes, 150 Elegant Nude. I love the shape of this thing. It's a rectangle. But if I wanted to fill my lips in with this would be a lot faster than a smaller point. Let's see, I've had a few favorites at like Walmart and Ulta lately. Hard Candy has these kind of click ups. They're really glossy and they remind me of the Maybelline Lifter Glaze Bombs. However, they're very close to the same price. So let's see, today, what shade? I think I'm gonna go with number 6 Caramel in the Maybelline Lifter Glaze. That feels so moisturizing. I just love it. And if you think you need a little bit more sparkle, I found this, I think it's Ismay Perfect Nude Shimmer Gloss at my Marshalls. I love a good sparkly gloss. That feels good. Okay, now we need to set all this down, and I need to be really careful because right now I feel nice and dewy, but I a little bit too dewy. So I'm gonna go with what I know works under my eyes. I've been loving this LA Girl H2O Lock powder. It's the one when you dip in with your nice fluffy brush, it feels like you dipped your brush in water. So just a little bit. I've been setting with a different powder, but I think I'm gonna do this one all over today. Well, just in my T-zone. And I feel like doing powder on my texture really helps. So it ends up being a pretty wide T-zone. All right, now I feel like I look a little bit powdery, but I got this ColourPop Pretty Fresh setting spray, hyaluronic acid setting mist, and I got it because I do sniff things in the store. Do you guys? I do, and this smells very nice. And there are lots of folks who can't stand having any fragrance in their facial products, but they'll spray perfume all over their décolleté. So I guess some people, their skin is super sensitive, their facial skin maybe. And what's been working really well, since I have bangs and they hit right here, if I don't really set this area, then my blonde hair picks up whatever color of blush I put on that day. So I've been using this Revolution Super Fix. It is a pump. It looks like it's going to be a spray, but it's a pump. I do 2 squirts on each side. And I love my fan. So this is my final look for the day. I think I'm liking this Haus Labs. Thank you for watching today. If you found me, you're one of the very first ones, so please like and subscribe. I hope that spending this time with me has helped you forget about the cares of the world for just a little while. And wherever you are today, I hope you have a wonderful day. And I hope you see me next time.